Thank you so much. And I always like coming after lunch because it's either 50-50, you have pep, or you're ready to call it a day. So I didn't eat lunch because I wanted to come with some pep, so please. We're going to leave some time at the end for questions, but I'm pleased to be here. My name is Lisa Thomas, as he mentioned. I am the business leader with Workforce Solutions. We are a strategic partner with Cintra, bringing more power to their payroll platform, and I'll describe a little bit how we do that. So from a perspective of who is Workforce Solutions, hopefully you all know who Equifax is, but Workforce Solutions is a separate business unit within Equifax, and we are really solely designed to help your employees live better. All of our platform capabilities are around our workforce, workflows, and specifically what I'm going to be speaking to today is the digital employment and income verification service that we connect through with Cintra, which is really about helping your employees be able to get services faster, okay? So, what is that platform? As I mentioned, we are a separate business unit within Equifax, and our operations started in US, and now we operate in Canada, Australia, India, and here in the UK. And we operate by providing this platform called the Verification Exchange. Again, primarily designed for employers and customers of Cintra to reduce that HR workload when it comes to providing income verification for employees. So, what do we mean by employment and income verification? It is interesting when I talk to clients that you may not realize how many situations an employee will rely on their payroll for verification. We all know about mortgages. We all know about, providing for buying a car. But rental, insurance, setting up telco or utilities, benefit qualifications. So on any given day, an employee is faced with the ask to provide either confirmation of how much they're being paid or confirmation of the fact that they're working. And more than anything, most of the time when they're going through this journey, it is sometimes more than likely at a moment of financial stress. So they're under stress, they're having to go through this journey of applying for a new mortgage or applying for credit or applying for a benefit, and they're looking to make this as easy as possible. That's where we come in. So with our platform at work, we're able to improve that experience of applying for a loan, applying for a mortgage, by making the end-to-end process a lot faster. We're able to speed up their closing because we are able to digitally send that information required for the application. We have also been working with a lot of employees who have been applying for benefits, allowing them to really get through that benefit qualification process quickly. Auto applicants. I don't think anybody buys a car now during working hours. A lot of our customers and your employees are going into those car dealerships after hours, 24 weekends, and looking to take that car off the lot. So at the end of the day, even in certain circumstances where you have prime or second charge lending, our platform being available on 24/7 has allowed employees to get the best rates at the right time at the moment that they are applying for that. And we do this securely, which is very important for everyone here. Through our API connection with Cintra, we're able to do this securely and really protect the privacy of those employees. I don't know how many circumstances employees have said, okay, I am applying for a new job, but I don't necessarily want to tell my current employer that I'm doing that. And this allows them to really securely and privately provide that confirmation of their job, where they're working now, as they seek additional employment. It's important to note that from our perspective, as a bureau, we are vetting all of those requests that come through. We're ensuring that those requests are based on the employee's consent and authorization to get the information, and our platform is regulated by the FCA here in the UK. I like to use this to make it all come together. So if Sarah was going in today to buy her home, and she went into the broker or she went into the mortgage lender, if her service is enabled by the verification exchange, that lender will immediately be able to confirm that her $50,000 or her $100,000 salary is accurate and she doesn't have to do anything more. The loan is approved, the rate is locked, and she walks away with her offer. If her information wasn't on the verification exchange, and I'm sure you've seen some of those journeys that a lot of lenders go through, she goes back, she pulls pay slips, she uploads it to the broker sends it to the lender. Sometimes the lender's using OCR and he's trying to make sure that the pay slip isn't fraudulent. All of that could mean the difference between a percentage, or I should say a 0.0% change in her interest rate and in her offer by the time all of that is done and checked. So really, her closing process becomes within literally minutes versus any kind of back and forth, which in some cases, depending on the website and depending on the lender, can take up to 7 business days before they get an offer. As I mentioned, all behind that, 24/7 support, regulated by the FCA. We are documenting, we are crediting, we are checking those requests that come in. All employees have the ability to check the information that is being returned so that if for any reason they don't get the loan or they don't get the benefit that they applied for, they can come to us and request a confirmation of what information was shared from their payroll or from their employment information. All of these regulations that we observe really do help protect your employees. And it also kind of avoids that scenario where we do see some employees will share the credentials to their payroll system so that the lender can see that information. That we are absolutely avoiding by ensuring that we securely transfer that information. What's really been driving a lot of this demand, specifically here in the UK, as I mentioned, we do see global trends, has really been interest rates. We all have seen the last year of the journey and fluctuations in interest rate. That example of Sarah could make a difference in terms of what she was able to borrow, what she was able to afford, depending on if she was able to get her loan and mortgage approved that day or had to come back a week later. Seasonality. We're seeing fluctuations in terms of when auto lenders are looking for more restrictions or more requirements in terms of confirming employment and income. We have the BNPL market today. That isn't regulated, but we see more and more regulation coming in there where even if you do a buy now, pay later program, they're going to need to know if you're employed and if you're able to pay back that buy now, pay later lending. Aid and service requests. There is a big initiative around the financial services, around vulnerable customers and any vulnerable employees that you may have. Really trying to ensure through consumer duty and other regulations that they are having enough of a fair chance at getting the benefits that they need or getting the lending that they need. And so with that, we're seeing a lot more demand within the digital environment from these lenders, from these verifiers, to have it non-fraudulent check, instant real time, and ensure that those employees who may be on the borderline of being able to afford what they're requesting get the same treatment as someone who may be way over in terms of being able to service that loan. Those 3 areas are really what has been driving a lot of the demand. What we've seen here in the UK for sure is that a lot of the lenders are looking at a very digital process. They do want to get away from having to ask your employees to download pay slips. They do want to get away from having to ask the employees to go for a letter and confirm anything further. And so with our platform enabled through Cintra, your employees have that seamless, frictionless process, and they're able really to address some of these major macro trends that we're seeing in the market that allows them to really take the benefit of the service. Always important to note that within our database and within our service, we are governed by the FCA, which means that everything has to be auditable. You can request any copy of the information that was shared. All of our verifiers that are using the platform are subject to audit. They have to show proof that they have the consumer's consent to pull the information. We also provide the ability for any employee to log in and see their information. And of course, globally, we continue to lead in terms of our standards for security around our platform. At the end of the day, consumers are expecting speed in everything. I mean, I don't think anybody now will wait more than a day for a response back on anything that they're looking for, shopping for, or buying for. And this platform and this capability really does address that basic need to get it fast, get it done, and move on. We really remove the searching for pay stubs. We ensure that everyone is being treated fairly in terms of their ability to borrow. We're creating that digital journey that means that once the consumer goes into the lender, that's the one stop. That's all they do. After that, the bank or lender takes care of everything, and they're able to walk away with their business. What we've seen already in the market is that 25% of all these businesses and transactions are occurring on the weekends. When our system is 24/7 available, there's no delay, again, having to go back, go through a VPN, and look for that information. And more importantly, a lot of your employees have really come to enjoy the privacy of it. You don't need to know what they're doing, where they're downloading, where they're possibly sending pay stubs. This is all done securely, privately for them, and it does provide that benefit in terms of their mental well-being in being able to get it done immediately. I may have gone through too fast, but that is really what we're enabling through our API with Cintra. And if there's any questions around how the platform works, I'm happy to take them, but I wanted to at least provide that guidance on how we work with Cintra here in the UK. Any questions? Yep, sorry. Go ahead.
Recently bought a new car.
Yes.
And the dealership that I went through still required pay-slips sent over to them, me to fill a whole lot of forms in. Could I have done something differently with this? Because I don't know how this would have then worked by me saying, I've got this option.
Yes. That's all you would have needed to ensure to let them know. I've got this option with the verification exchange. If they aren't already set up as accredited, they still can inquire through us, and we would have delivered it for them, delivered it for you. Absolutely. So there's just more of a knowledge to say, yes, my employer is with the verification exchange. Please reach out to them and get this instantly. Yeah.
So when they find information to contact you,
So typically, I know there is some information that Cintra has on their website about how to contact us, but most of the lenders do have our website and information where they know how to reach Equifax and they can come directly to us. But if they're already accredited and set up on the system, it should be happening immediately through their application process because they're usually connected through an API. Okay? But there is phone numbers and everything. Yes, go ahead. No.
so how do we set that up as an employer?
I'm going to maybe defer to Sab or...
Basically, there's an opt-out process if you didn't want to do it, but you will all be opted in unless you want to.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
just cover that. So,
Do you want me to read?
just so that everyone's clear how it all kind of works, and Lisa will put me right when I get some of the technicalities wrong. The reason that this is happening, and the reason that we have partnered with Equifax to enable you to offer this service to your colleagues, is because the financial service industry is moving in this direction. So prior to partnering with Equifax, we talked to a large number of other credit providers and indeed financial institutions. And their expectation is that within the next N years, whether that's 3 or 5, the traditional back office method of credit applications will disappear. The pressures are threefold. First of all, the banking community, it costs them a lot of money and a lot of time. Secondly, regulation. So governments, through the FCA, are putting a lot of pressure on all types of lenders. And when you think of lenders, don't just think of banks, but think of third-party lenders, car lenders, even normal furniture lenders and credit card lenders, to ensure that the people they're lending money to are valid people who can pay the money back. It's an appropriate lending decision. So that's the second big pressure. The third is the consumer, you and I, are saying we want an easier way of dealing with this because it's just a pain in the proverbial to find bits of paper, send it off to here, send an email here, or I've got to secure the email, I've got to put a password on my thing, I've forgotten the password I put on it. So all those pressures are leading to this change in the way that lenders access information about all of us. Now, this is happening. Every single, and I hope Lisa won't mind me saying this, every single software provider of payroll in the UK has been approached by at least one of the credit checking agencies to do this. The reason that we as a business decided to go with this is we did not want to disenfranchise your colleagues. Because in a period of time, if you're not on this platform and you are automatically enrolled and therefore your colleagues will be in the system, because it kind of recognises it in a way that Seb will explain and I can't, it enfranchises your colleagues so that they can continue to participate in this digital revolution. That's why we took the decision to participate, because we know that all of the other payroll providers are doing this, and the only ones who aren't are the legacy ones, and unfortunately, their employee colleagues will find themselves increasingly marginalised.
Agreed. Well said.
And we researched this, in great detail, very carefully, because we're very, very nervous about these types of things, data sharing. But we felt that this was something which was a valid, progressive, empowering thing for all employees on our platform. And the security feature for all of you is you can choose to opt out on behalf of your colleagues. 95% of you chose not to. You are all included. But should you wish to change, that can be done by you returning the opt-out form. But this, we believe, is the way that data, we heard earlier from some of our speakers about it, this is the future of how data is going to be used by government. It's already used by government, all that data. It's already used by government, and we trust government, don't we? So it's just the way it's going to happen. There's another question there, sorry. You let us know, and we'll figure it out. It's clear, it's your decision, it's your power. So if you're changing your mind, I'm pretty sure we can do that damn quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
So what sort of employer controls do we have? Like, so for example, if we want to block our request, are we able to do that? From employee's control perspective?
Yeah, I mean, typically it's either the full employer is blocked. I don't think you enable by employee blocking. Sorry, Sam.
So no, basically the way it works, and particularly if you bear in mind the sorts of things it might be used for, you sign up to this process, and then employees have to specifically say, whenever they're doing a loan application, I'm happy that you can go and get my employment data. So the employee is the one that controls that, not you. So you never have to think about it, and you actually will never know exactly what's happening there.
And can we monitor what's happening?
No, because of the implications. You shouldn't know about people's loans, etc.
As an employer, you can't, but the employee can always call and ask. So, for example, if they have authorized to pull, and for some reason they don't get the loan, they have the ability to call us, because it is going to be on the report that's given to the verifier, and ask what information was shared. In the event that for some reason their payroll isn't accurate, then that's where we would work with Cintra to address it. So an employee can always call us, but yeah, absolutely we don't. Because I guess, you know, as we talked about, the privacy of the platform is very important in terms of the employee knowing that this is something they're doing directly with that lender or talent agency. And as you can imagine, in the talent screener business, they don't really want you to know if they're looking for another, another job or something like that. Okay.
There's someone there.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, presumably, if you've got the option to opt out, there is, we perhaps have missed something, so presumably we've opted in. Is there a charge for this?
Sorry, I missed that important piece. There's no charge
So
for the, go ahead.
The question was, if you have opted in, is there a charge for this service?
There is no charge for the employers or the employees using the service. The verifiers, as they pull a credit report, they will pay us for the service when they pull the information. Yeah. And it is, I should also mention, it is a separate database from an employee's credit score, so it does not impact their credit score at all. And we do that deliberately to ensure that if you're applying for benefits or even applying for a job, that request does not impact what goes on your credit score. As you know, when you're doing lending, every time you put in an application, it does show on your credit score.
I remember when you bought this in a little while ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a lot back from Cintra when I was asking questions as to how we launch it to our employees. Is there a fact sheet? Not really
No. Yeah, it's
delivered straight away to them?
So if you think of it more as a passive activity, the relationship, the access is all through the banks, the lenders, and Equifax, and they kind of know that an employee when they arrive is going to be in the scheme.
Yes.
So,
Our employees don't know they're in the scheme. They don't know to
but when they apply for a loan, the lender will almost know that they're in the scheme.
Yeah, I think what you
It'll
mean.
become the default.
I think what we can take away is if the employee encounters a process where that lender wasn't on
Oh,
the
I see,
scheme,
sorry.
so we may have an opportunity to
Yeah,
provide some
100%.
more information to your employee.
employees currently will know that through Cintra.
Okay, so I think.
Oh,
there may-
okay. So I understand what you're saying. So we will talk with Equifax. We will come back and see how you can communicate your employees about this.
But it was great what you were saying, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but,
Lisa.
about all the things that are in place.
Yep.
That affect the credit score. Those things employees would like to know, I think.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can definitely put together a fact sheet, information sheet for your colleagues. No problem at all. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.